I'm gonna do what I do in situations where I'm a bit frustrated and make bad decisions. I've really messed this bit up. If you're squeamish, maybe don't look. I got a stain out of that t-shirt. I've got all of this to go through. Managed to get my black hair out. That was a celebration that we had this morning.
Right, next tricky.
Disneyland Paris. And then look, it's older than 20 years. I'm not even sure whether you're going to be able to hear me, right? Okay? Okay. I have not been well for the past 2 days. No flare up, none of that, but I've just had some tummy problems. So much so that I haven't left the house since Thursday. Because I've been not feeling very well and basically hibernating in the toilet, which, to be honest, just looking back, whenever we get hot weather like this, I was quite unwell in Florida, not too bad. With my stomach issue, I also just don't do very well in the heat. I can whittle it down to foods and whether I had this or that or not enough water or whatever it might be, there just doesn't seem to be a catalyst. So on this occasion, I'm putting it down to coming off of my period and the heat. So I'm gonna do what I do in situations where I'm a bit frustrated and make bad decisions, and I'm going to shave my face, my little doodad. I have got a black hair that's making an appearance and I'll pluck that bugger out, but I'm just going to shave my face, give myself a bit of a facial. Sometimes you need to make poor choices. There's always that one annoying black hair, like, you're not welcome. Oh, I just do my nose hairs as well. I'm just getting a bit hairy. Do you ever just like, you start something and then you get carried away? I'll end up with no eyebrows. Got my sanitizer spray. Right. I'm just being really impatient. I need to scrub my tan off, which I might attempt to do today, but I also just don't have the energy. I'm gonna put this in my hair because my hair needs to get washed. But I'm also using this as help me glide over my skin. Also putting it into my hair so that my hair can be semi-slicked back for when I get my sideburns. Okay, let's do some damage. Maybe I'll get some ASMR. Oh, that's a lot of hair. It's been a while. 45-degree angle. Skin taut. I also feel like this, the glow that this gives you is just insane. I already feel like more contoured there. Is that sad? Look, we fucked up the sideburns. It's fine. Right, I'm just gonna do like the rest of the side of the face. Oh, I love it. I love it. You hairy mongrel. I've also been finding that my makeup hasn't been sitting as great on my skin. Sometimes this can happen with like weather changes and your skin going through stuff, but I always find after doing this, like, my makeup sticks, and just recently it just hasn't been. And just as a disclaimer, you should probably get a professional to do this than do it yourself. I feel more chiseled. I've really messed this bit up. So I'm saying, like, I'm not being that productive, but I have done a shitload of washing. Let me put my trusties on. Oh, I've done all the washing up really early this morning. This has been washed, which is the throw on the bed that Andrew's been sleeping in. I got a stain out of that t-shirt. More blankets washed, more blankets washed. Another stain out of that jumper, got for Vinted. There was a stain at the bottom, now gone. Andrew sorted the shed out yesterday because Andrew's parents are coming down and Andrew's dad is going to help him re-floor the shed because it's holy. I've got all of this to go through, whether it's tip or no tip. I think rats have gotten into some of this stuff and it's just, wow, not really that salvageable. So, despite the weather being horrendous, I have got some stuff done. I've been soaking plants. As you can see, there's no water left because I've had it all. Looking good. And that one's looking good. Dogs are absolutely pooped and not happy. Kiki's gone outside again. I do not know why. That dog just does not know when to quit. But other than that, I think I'm going to hop in the shower, wash my face, you know, make sure I wash my little sideburns, that's what's left of them, and whip on a thick layer of SPF. So actually, before I go and wash my newly baby-faced self, I was going to show you how hairy I am. or was. So look, I promise there was more than there is on here. There was, if you're squeamish, maybe don't look, but then there's some on here. Like, it's a mixture: peach fuzz, fake tan, and dead skin. Morning. Today weather-wise is not so bad. I scrubbed my tan off yesterday and I literally had just an ice cold shower. I would have had a bath if the bath was fixed. Fingers crossed it's getting fixed soon, because I would have just laid in just my sweaty filth, but in just nice cool water, because yesterday was just unacceptable. It was unacceptably hot. Managed to get my black hair out. That was a celebration that we had this morning. Skin is looking pretty good. I had a little dude pop up here, but it was only a tiny little one. So I'm hoping my new techniques on dermaplaning and being extra with the whole sanitizing has paid off. We shall see. I've always had like pretty good skin. It's just my period that tends to shake things up. Like, I would say under the skin, cystic, boil, acne. Sometimes it's hard to talk or make facial expressions because of how evil these spots are. So persevering with the 𝒊𝒐 skincare, it's taken 6 weeks, almost 6 weeks to get to this point, and I'm really freaking chuffed. So chuffed that I felt ballsy to dermaplane my face. So watch this space. If you're here for that kind of content, subscribe. I should probably leave it another 24 hours. Screw it. Andrew's parents are up and they're coming over this morning, so I've got my fake tan out and I'm gonna fake tan. I'm watching some Disney vlogs and I'm gonna tan.
All the lights on. Felt like you were forced. The mini muffin and the... Right, next cookie. That's nice. We just took the boat over in 2018, which is their restaurant.
So I'm all tanned. I do my face with, I've got the fan to just help things dry. But I do my face with just a buffing brush. I pumped some tan onto my mitt and I buff it in just so that there's consistency. But I found mixing two brands, it just can look a bit more obvious, should I say. Often in a lot of my vlogs you'll see me tan. This is what I use. It's my new one I am loving. Its whole vibe is basically you're using a fake tan that goes with your undertone. So because I'm very fair, I'm very like blue underneath, very cool toned. So I have something, so I'm basically putting a tan on top that complements that. In the past, many years ago, I went through my orange era. Yeah, not good. Very, very orange. Anything was better than being pale. I have Scottish roots. I have like a bit of auburn in my hair, but I've just never liked being pale. So I'm trying this. It's not as intense. It's like a 1 hour express, or you can leave it on for like 3-4 hours. If you sleep in it, I don't feel like there's longevity in it. If I wash that off before we go out for dinner tonight, I'll be able to wear this tan for a week. If you slept in it and wore it for like over 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever, you'll obviously be darker and it doesn't wear very well. You'd want to scrub it off after 5 days, which isn't like too bad. I've made that last over a week before by just wearing it for a couple of hours and then washing it off. And it just, because it also develops after you wash it off as well. So bear that in mind if you do look into Bondi Sands Technicolor. Hello, another morning start. I wasn't very well yesterday. My stomach is really kicking my ass at the moment. I don't know whether it's a mixture of anxiety too. Just done a massive rant on Instagram, as you do. So Andrew's parents are obviously up. I tried to film some bits of Andrew barbecuing. What did you do? But I just wasn't feeling 100% and was trying to be present, which is proving itself quite difficult when you're like managing anxiety, which is, you know, at its finest at the moment. But I love seeing Andrew's parents. Obviously they're up in Norwich. We're used to going down, popping in and seeing them, seeing my mum, everything like that. And I feel like it's almost on our terms. So if I wasn't to feel great, I can just leave the situation. Whereas when you're hosting, it's like, I feel like I need to be here all the time and be present all the time. And I've had chats with Andrew because Andrew is the hostess with the mostest. I like making the house look really nice and just comfortable for people to come around. And Andrew loves feeding people. He loves cooking. He loves entertaining, which is great because it picks up the slack on my side where I'm literally like, there are moments where I go quiet, where my social battery is depleting and I literally just want to go and deploy myself to the bedroom and just have a time out, which is an option. If we had a bit more of summer this year, we would have invited people round and had more barbecues, etc, etc. And there have been times where I've had to sit with Andrew going, oh, these are really great ideas, it's just what worries me is the fact that it's several hours long and it's at our house. Like, what if I'm just, because the thing is where I'm starting to understand myself a lot more is I can start not feeling very well and go a bit downhill when my social battery goes down. So I just know that I need to take myself away from a situation and just have some alone time with myself. And I'm sure over time the tolerance will get better and I'll be able to be in an environment for, you know, a longer amount of time. Is that good English? So he was like, we'll just go upstairs for like 20 minutes, half an hour, just do what you need to do. And I'm like, but isn't that rude? And I'm like, we are so English in the sense of like, you have to put yourself through so much pain and suffer in silence. And the situation yesterday was I started eating and we were sitting down outside having a lovely barbecue with Andrew's parents. It was really good. I was like laughing about stuff and then bam, I got stomach pains out of nowhere. Again, I don't know whether it wasn't anxiety induced in that sense because I have food phobias of just anything that I put in my mouth. I'm then worried that something horrendous is going to happen afterwards because it's going down into my stomach. That particular situation, I'm actually really not feeling good. This is not trapped wind. This is not anxiety, like I need to go sit on the toilet. So I said to Andrew, I was like, oh, can you just grab my phone and just my water? And he was like, oh, you're not feeling very well? I was like, yeah, my stomach is not good. Right in front of his parents. And I'm like, they know anyway, they know the whole story, it's fine. So I was literally upstairs and that was me KO'd for the whole evening, back and forth from the toilet. I was just retreating to the bedroom, to the toilet, back and forth, and I'm relying on my heat pad. Heat just tends to suppress the cramps and the bit that makes me panic, and I've passed out in the past. In times where I'd be like back and forth from the toilet, I would normally be sitting with his parents and going back and forth from the toilet. In this instance, I decided, you know what, I know with my anxiety at the moment, I just need to be by myself. I need to be in a room by myself, kind of work out what's going on, and that was obviously then going back and forth from the toilet. So I'm finding my mechanisms. Timing was not great, but I also just want to share that it's not sunflowers and daisies and rainbows and whatnots. It can be pretty freaking shit, i.e. this morning. Am I with Andrew and his parents? No, I'm not. I've managed to eat something this morning so I could take 𝒊𝒏𝒔. It wasn't a flare-up last night. The pain wasn't horrendous. Again, I'm going to do a video about this. Flare-ups for me is where I'm like on the floor, on the toilet, and I'm just like, I cannot breathe through the pain. I'm like, I actually feel like I'm going to die, or call an ambulance, or it's getting to that point where I'm hitting the top of my pain threshold. So whilst I'm at home having a coffee, you need your stimulants to function, testing the waters, but a coffee is part of my routine, so I feel like that's okay. A big thing that I requested Andrew's mum to bring up was Andrew's pin book. As you know, we're going to Disney. To get into the Disney spirit, I thought, let's check out his pin book. I want to start a pressed penny book. I've just gotten obsessed with pressed pennies. I think I saw a video of someone's on TikTok, classic TikTok, of someone's pressed penny book, and I'm like, oh, my new obsession. You know, similar to pins, they're everywhere. So I thought I would do a little tour. I don't know when he started going to Disney, or whether some of these pins are Andrew's parents, but I don't know. I saw a Disneyland 2003 pin, So, I mean, it's up there as 20 years old at least. The pin package, or whatever you call this, pin trading zipper bag, is just so interesting. So this is what it looks like, the front. It's got a little handle there and a lovely embroidered pin trading Disneyland Paris emblem. And then look, I was looking at, I mean, I've flicked through it already. See, it says Disneyland Resort Paris 2003. So it's at least 20 years old. But I love seeing, like, I was saying to Andrew's mum, I was like, oh, you collected the hotels that you stayed at when you've been at Disneyland. Hotel Cheyenne and Sequoia Lodge. But I also added our ones. So we got this last year and we got this one because we were there for the 50th celebrations, and we saw this and it was limited edition and it was in like the glass cabinet, and we were like, let's splurge and get it. So we only got those 2 pins, but now I'm wishing we got more. I'm so happy that they've got a Splash Mountain pin, because that ride is now obviously closed since we've been there, and it's getting refurbished. But it's getting, the theming is changing to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I think. It was time, like, I understand. Still sad, but I completely get it. Like, love all of these. I did say to Andrew, I was like, did you go through a phase where you just absolutely love Lilo and Stitch? Because I'm seeing a lot of Lilo and Stitch. Love that there's Phantom Manor. Phantom Manor. So that's Disneyland Paris. We need to get the one for Walt Disney World. Big Thunder in Paris. Obviously, because we are UK residents, he went to Disneyland Paris more than he went to Walt Disney World. But loving all of these. Andrew, went to Discovery. I think this one's my favourite out of all of them, because it's got all the pavilions behind that they've got. Love that. Pirates of the Caribbean, Andrew's favourite ride. Love this Tower of Terror because it moves a little bit. They're just so fantastic. Look, 2001, so it's older than 20 years. I'm going to end up having to do what I classically do, and like all the Lilo and Stitch ones are going to have to go together. What is that one? I think that's more of a, no, it is a pin. Oh, I think it had lights at one point. But yeah, there are pages and pages. I think this is the last one. Oh no. And then these are just some random ones. There are quite a lot of Jungle Book ones. So I want to put them together. Look, another Lilo and Stitch one. 2005. We don't know where this is from. I don't know whether it's from Dumbo, maybe. Look, another Lilo and Stitch. Oh, Andrew. Oh, Andrew. And how rogue is this one? I don't even think that Home on the Range did very well as a film. I mean, I loved it. That's from that film. And then these are just some random ones. The Muppets, Rugrats, National Cycling Proficiency. Oh, Andrew was part of the school council. I absolutely love it. I just think these are so fantastic. And I think that's it. Oh no, there's some... I swear I used to get these in like sticker form. Yeah, like there's so many pages that need to be filled. Obviously it's lovely to see Andrew's parents, but this has been like a massive highlight for me to go through. I did go through it like a couple of years ago, but because I've been to Walt Disney World now, it's just so nice to, you know, I get the whole pin trading thing and the pin obsession that I'm obviously going to get into now. And I'm just going to rearrange all of this to, you know, Mickey and Minnie all together, or maybe all the Disney Paris pins together. This is just so fantastic. And I just don't feel that like they do stuff like this anymore. It's just great. I love it. I hope you're all doing super duper well. Not the most conventional vlog I've pieced together, but there was some fun stuff that I did in there, and some stuff that I was sharing that I didn't want it to just be archived and never seen. A couple of moments in there made me laugh. But anywho, I hope you enjoyed it. As I've explained, if you follow me on Instagram as well, I've been in a bit of a health crisis. So much so that Andrew and I were even in talks about postponing our Disney trip. I play it down. I'm very good at masking. We know this. It was getting to the point where I couldn't even leave the house. I was so poorly. I haven't been able to keep up with just a basic routine, move my body, eat 3 times a day, even just do the things I love, were were quite difficult, and I also haven't seen many of my friends, so I've been in a bit of a hole. As you saw, like I did struggle with when Andrew's parents came up. That's lovely. I love Andrew's parents. The last day was good. They only came down for 2 days. The second day, where I stayed at home and we spent time with them in the evening, was amazing. I felt a lot better. We watched the new Indiana Jones film. Unpopular opinion, I didn't think it was that good. I was actually a bit gutted about it. But anyway, that's another story. I did enjoy spending some time with them, but since that day I literally seriously declined, and that's why you didn't see any vlogs. So I'm doing a bit of backtracking, trying to piece some bits together, but also be transparent as I always like to be. I am hoping to get another vlog to you this Sunday, just so that I don't have a backlog of vlogs, because the Disney trip is very much well and truly still happening. I am feeling a lot better, slowly with everything, but I am feeling more myself. We've got some big things to talk about. We are now staying at 3 places on our Disney trip, which I will get into in the next vlog, but 2 Disney properties and 1 Universal property, which is deluxe. Well, one of the properties that we're staying at Disney is also deluxe and a bucket list place to stay. So I want to talk about that in more detail. So in the next vlog, we do a bit of Disney planning. I rescue a hedgehog, and that's kind of as far as it did go. But this weekend, tomorrow, I'm going to get a skin booster done with Libby. Andrew and I are going to do some wholesome quality time together, which involves leaving the house and possibly going to Wells or going into the city, because I'm feeling a lot better. Probably a bit more Disney planning as well, but also planning bits like working together on the weddings and ones that we have booked for next year, just making sure that we are on the same page. Andrew, as you may know from the videos, is very coming and going, which can mess with my routine a little bit, just because I'm a bit anal up here. It's hard sometimes for us to sit down and catch up and be on the same page, so we're planning on getting on the same page this weekend. But also, yes, I haven't been seeing my friends, but I also haven't been spending quality time with Andrew. He's either been looking after me or helping me get back into a routine. And being social has been like the last hurdle to get on top of. Going on the Disney trip, Florida trip in November, it's very full on. If you've been on a Walt Disney trip, you will know how full on it is. And if I don't start moving my body and getting my fitness back on track, I am very much going to struggle doing over 20,000 steps a day. And I don't want to hold Andrew back. I want to fully immerse myself in this holiday. It hasn't been cheap. It's pretty much our honeymoon. That's what I'm labeling it as. So I really do want to get the most out of it. And now that I'm starting to feel better, I really want to start actioning a few things, which involves a bit more vlogging, doing separate videos. I've got my Disney video that I want to film. I want to go through all the details of what we've planned, how we're going about things. Anyone that maybe hasn't put together a Disney trip, there might be some tips in there, or there might be some things that could be helpful. So I'm excited to film that. I'm also excited to film all the stuff that goes along with that, packing videos, getting organised, trying on outfits that I'm going to wear for Disney. And then as well, I want to sit down and talk about my stomach condition, my anxiety, for the people that want to know a little bit more about that. It's all there. I haven't forgotten about it. I've just been poorly. And we all know that health comes first. So that's where I've been, how I've been like working on myself. I'm very passionate about my YouTube channel and making videos. I do content creation for a living anyway, so this is just something for me and it does mean a lot. So when I don't upload and I get a bit of a backlog of content that I haven't touched in a couple of weeks, I get a bit sad as well. So lots of love. I hope you have been keeping safe and well, and I've missed you. And I look forward to, fingers crossed, seeing on Sunday. So toodaloo and lots of love.